We're asked, which two of the following expressions have the same value as 8.76? Pause this video and see if you can figure this out on your own. All right, now let's do it together. And before I even look at these choices, I'm just going to really understand what this number represents. And let me just rewrite it. So we have 8.76. So there's a couple of ways that we could think about it. We can look at our place values. This right over here, this is the ones place. This right over here, this is the tenths place. And this right over here is the hundredths place. And so we could view this as 8 ones and 7 tenths and 6 hundredths, or 8 ones plus 7 tenths plus 6 hundredths. Well, that's exactly what they wrote right over here. 8 ones, 7 tenths, and 6 hundredths. So I would choose that one for sure. Now, this second choice looks like an expanded form, but before I even look at it, let's see how we would think about it over here. If we wanted to essentially write the same idea, but in expanded form, 8 ones is the same thing as 8 times 1. And actually, let me color code it so you see where things are coming from. So 8 ones, that's the same thing as 8 times 1. And to that, we would add 7 tenths, so that's plus 7 times 1 tenth, so 7 tenths, plus, and I'll do this in this orange color, 6 hundredths, so that's plus 6 times 100th, 6 hundredths. So this would be this number in expanded form. Is that what they put right over here? Yes, it is indeed what they put right over here. So I will circle that in. Now, if you're doing this on your own, we know that we just picked two answers, but let's see whether these other forms, or let's see if we can write this in these other forms and see how these might not be the exact answer. So if we were to write this out and take out each of the decimal parts, so the 8 ones, you would just write that as 8. The 7 tenths, well, that would be plus 0.7. This is 7 tenths right over here. This and this part right over here are all equivalent. And then last but not least, you have your 6 hundredths. So plus, so that's our ones, that's our tenths, and then we're in our hundredths place, and we're going to have 6 of them. So this would be equal to our original value, but that's not what they wrote over here. They did write 8 ones, they did write 7 tenths, but they did not write 6 hundredths here. They wrote 6 thousandths here. So we can rule that one out. And then if we were to write it out in words, we would say this is 8, and I'll do and in a neutral color. Now, you might say and 7 tenths and 6 hundredths. Or you could often, what's normally is you express it in the lowest place that you have, or the most precise place that you have. So you could view 7 tenths as 70 hundredths, or you could view this whole thing as 76 hundredths. So it could be 8 and 76 hundredths. But what they wrote over here, they did write 8, but instead of 76 hundredths, they wrote 8 and 67 hundredths. A little tricky, so we would rule that one out as well.